Hey, so I listened to a podcast called The Bike Shed, which is a software development podcast, and I really like it. Anyway, a while ago they were asking for listener feedback, so I submitted a question. Sorry, listener questions, and I submitted a question, which is, how do you know if you're improving as a developer? And I didn't know if I'd ever hear back from them, but they did a full episode on my question, and I really liked their answer. So I wrote a whole blog post about it, which I'm not going to get into everything here today. Here's the bike shed. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into 2 ways to measure your improvement based on what they said in the podcast, and then 1 way to actually improve as a software developer. Okay, so I hope that sounds interesting, and here we go. And first thing I'm going to do is just move myself out of the way. Let's put me right down there. Perfect. Okay, cool. Great. So ways to measure improvement. So the first thing, people are more often coming to you for help. So this is the first way that you can kind of see, am I actually improving? So are more people starting to come to you for help? The reason I like this, so first of all, it's objective, right? It's kind of hard to know sometimes if you're improving. Like you think you are, you think you're writing better code, right? You think you're doing things in a more, safe, secure, right? Reliable way. But, you're pretty good at tricking yourself, right? Both positively and negatively. But if people are more often coming to you for help, it means that they probably think that you actually are improving, right? So they value your opinion. So I like that. I like that it combines hard and soft skills. So no one's going to come to you for technical advice if you don't have any technical skills, right? So senior developers are very rarely going to ask junior developers, what's the best way I should implement this, right? They may as an exercise, but probably not seeking real knowledge there. Okay, so you need to have the hard skills, but you also have to have the soft skills, because even if you're the best developer, if you're a real jerk, no one's going to want to talk to you, right? So so if people are coming to you more often, it means that you probably are developing both the hard and soft skills that you need to have as a senior developer. Okay, the next one. When developers have to work with your code months after you wrote it, they find it easy to read, change, and extend. Okay, yeah, so you are improving as a software developer, I would say, right? And it seems like the people on the bike shed agree. If other people have less or find working with your code easier and easier, right? There are fewer issues when people have to go work with it. Okay, so I agree with this. And this has kind of informed how I write, or different ways that I've started to change how I write my code. Okay, and I want to show you an example of this right here. Okay, so here I have 2 identical functions in terms of inputs and outputs, right? Neither one takes an input, and they both output the exact same thing. All right, I'm going to go through how both of these work, and then I'm going to talk to you about which one I actually like more, right? So get options 1. We have an array here: bread, soup, rice, fish, tomato. We map over it, right? And then we return an object literal with a label, which is the item to uppercase, so capital bread, right? And then the value is the lowercase item. So you can imagine this like in like a drop down, like a select in HTML, right? You'd have the value and the label. Okay. Get option 2 does the exact same thing, but here we have bread written out twice, once uppercase, once lowercase. Same thing with soup, rice, fish, tomato, mushroom. Oh, I guess I have mushroom in this one. There, now they're identical. Okay, so a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I would have said that this is the clear winner. Because, first of all, I only have to write out the array once, right? So if I want to add pizza here, I type it once. I spell it correctly, there, pizza, and I'm done, right? It's going to do my uppercasing for me. I just add it to the end of the array. Whereas if I want to do it here, man, is this going to be hard. I have to type pizza, right? I got to type pizza again. Oh, I actually have to uppercase this one. Oof, way more work, right? So I would have thought this is the winner. But now I really think that option 2 is the winner. And the reason I think this is better code for working with other developers, is that if somebody comes to look at this, right, they don't care how fancy your code is. They just want to know, what does this thing do? And looking at it, I can see the literal representation of what it's going to return. I know exactly what it's going to return. So I don't have to do any kind of calculation in my head saying, okay, this is going to return mapping over this. Nope, it's right here. This is everything. So is it possible that somebody could, write Pisa-X? Yeah, it's possible, but I expect that people will probably fix that error if it happens. Now, I understand that that is something that you could agree or disagree with. Maybe you actually really like this first code better than the second one, but I think that the second code is better. Okay, next, how can you actually improve as a software developer? So, you naturally will improve if you're writing code every day, hopefully. But is there anything that you can kind of do to speed up that improvement? Nothing has changed the way I write my PHP code more than dealing with or working with TypeScript and having all the guarantees that I can around what a variable's type actually is and knowing I haven't broken anything. So now when I write my PHP code, I really try and mimic that, right? Whereas before I might be a little bit more loose, using a little bit more magic __ call, that type of thing. Now with my PHP, a lot more interfaces, a lot more return types, a lot more guarantees. The code structure isn't as beautiful, but I have far more assurance that I actually know what I'm working with, and I write fewer bugs. And yeah, the same thing with Go. So Go has made me reconsider a whole bunch of things. Go doesn't have array map or reduce or anything like that. You just use for loops. And that was jarring at first, but now I'm super happy with it. And I do that in TypeScript and I do that in PHP because when I get to some code and it's a for loop in Go, I go, oh, you're iterating over something. Whereas with TypeScript or PHP, there's a lot of different ways that you can subtly iterate over things. It's hard to kind of keep track of it. Like, how many times am I actually iterating over this? Whereas in Golang, you don't really have that issue. Also, Go has single character variables as a common idiom in the language. And that's something that I was told right away when I started learning how to program. Don't do single character variables. But now with Go, I'm writing them all the time. And the reason for that is with Go, the type information is never very far from the variable, right? So if you have something called R, right, and you don't struggle to go, well, what is R, right? Because you can just look up one line and go, oh, it's a reader, right? So you have this one character and it's kind of easy to keep in your head. So same thing with TypeScript, because with TypeScript, you do have that type information right there. Then yeah, maybe single character variable is fine, right? PHP, it's a little bit harder to do that. And then if you're writing something with like Ruby, I think you're kind of out of luck because you don't really have types anywhere. Anyway, so yeah, ways to measure improvement. People are coming to you for more for help. People find your code easier and easier to work with months after you wrote it. And how to improve, go do something different, right? Go try something different, and then what you learn, you'll bring back to the language you work with every day. Anyway, hopefully that was a little bit interesting. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.